welcome to Snack Food and Wholesale Bakery's new product highlights for the month of October 2023. I am Jenni Spinner, Chief Editor.
And I'm Liz Parker, Senior Editor.
And we're here to do what the people have been clamoring for since the September product highlight went up. We record this video and we talk about the new product releases for the month of October that are notable, interesting, on trend, weird occasionally, just anything that's worth talking about. Things that you might have seen on Snack Food and Wholesale Bakery. If you did, it's worth repeating. So let's get to it. Liz has the first new product we'd like to talk about, and it is
the first new product is Cheetos pretzels. So everyone knows Cheetos, they're puff snacks, they're nice and crunchy. Cheetos is now branching out into pretzels, and as you might imagine, they have a cheddar variety and they have a flamin' hot variety. And this is interesting to me because I've seen a lot of producers experimenting with different formats. I think Unique Snacks did something like that too. They had like a puff cell type thing where it was like a puffed version of their pretzel. So it'll be interesting to see if Cheetos can retain their core audience, if they'll follow them into the pretzel sector for that.
Frito-Lay has been doing some really interesting stuff with crossovers. They've put one of the things they did with Lay's chips is they put Funyuns seasoning on the chips. So this is an interesting crossover. And like you said, Justin Spaniff of Unique Snacks, who comes from a long line of excellent mustached pretzel makers, for the first time approximately a year ago, I think it's been, went from making nothing but pretzels and pretzel varieties to puffed extruded puffsels, which they're still shaped like pretzels, keeping true. But this is Cheetos going the other route and like mixing it up a little bit. And I'm a fan of Flamin' Hot. I haven't tried these yet, but consumers are just going crazy for hot stuff, and this could connect with some of those guys. So well done, Frito-Lay. My first product is Thomas's croissant bread. When I was a youngster, Thomas's was all English muffins. So they occupied that part, the shelf-stable English muffins. Bayes was the main player in the refrigerated. And now they've got muffin tops, they've got bagels, mini bagels. And this is an interesting hybrid of croissant, that flaky pastry texture, and bread, and it's a croissant in loaf form. I've yet to get my hands on it, but it's interesting with so many new products out there, and croissant hybrids like Dominic Anzel's creation, Cronuts, which are fabulous. Grab one if you're ever in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. This is another interesting croissant hybrid, so I'm interested to see how it resonates with consumers.
I think the croissant hybrid has been around for a little bit, but not that long, because I know DiGiorno actually did like a croissant pizza crust, because it made one of our it was in contention for one of our awards. I think a few years ago. Actually had to go to the grocery store and buy it and try it, and it was really good. So it'll be interesting to see what other companies do with that. And then speaking of DiGiorno, our next product is the DiGiorno Thanksgiving pizza. So Thanksgiving, you get together with the family or friends, and you have turkey or maybe tofurkey if you're vegan, and all the trimmings, and that's kind of what DiGiorno is aiming to do with this pizza. It's got I believe it was like turkey, some sort of non-traditional sauce, and all the fixins basically. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh, and it's a Detroit style crust, which nice. Yay Detroit. But it kind of reminded me a few years ago, Pringles did this similar thing where it was like a Pringles Thanksgiving kit, and they only sent it out to media, unfortunately, although fortunately for me. I remember they said try stacking flavors, and it was quite good. So if it's anything like that but in pizza form, it could be good.
I'm one of those people that is a big fan of Thanksgiving sandwich that you'll find at places like Panera Bread, just piling all the leftovers into one place. So I would definitely be the adventurous kind of consumer that would try this. and I hope it's more of a hit, like those Pringles you were talking about. I don't mind saying that I had a mixed reaction to Brock's Thanksgiving dinner candy corn. Did you get your hands on that?
I did not. I think a few people actually asked me if I was able to, but I know we posted about it on Candy Industry and it did look interesting, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, it had things like the cranberry flavor. That makes a little bit more sense because cranberry is sweet, tangy. That makes sense in a candy. Turkey, good Lord, no. God bless the fun and adventurous people, because it definitely, if you brought that out at your Thanksgiving dinner, it made for some interesting conversation around the dinner table, steering away from politics and religion. So yeah, DiGiorno, yes. Candy corn, yeah.
That would be rather fun though. It's like, hey guys, instead of turkey this year, I've brought this DiGiorno's Thanksgiving pizza. Eat up.
Yeah, grandma's had it. She's just gonna pop this very delicious and convenient pizza in the oven, and y'all are on your own.
Yep.
My next product is Brooklyn Chop House, which is a well-known restaurant on the East Coast of America. Has launched their own frozen snacks, a line of dumplings. And it's interesting for a number of ways. One, it's a Black-owned CPG brand that's making its entry onto Walmart shelves. And this is the latest company that it is benefiting from the help of a company founded by Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle, best known for singing, but also launching her own line of pies into Walmart. And they've been hugely successful. And now what she's doing is she's founded her own incubator to help other Black food entrepreneurs launch products into Walmart and other big stores. The other reason why these are notable is because there's some non-traditional dumpling. There's even a chocolate cake dumpling, which I have been, Mind Walmart up here near me in Chicago has yet to carry them, but I've been keeping an eye out because I'm intrigued. And I think other consumers will too, at the mix of sweet and savory flavors, the non-traditional dumpling things, in supporting a Black-owned restaurant.
That would be interesting to me. It kind of reminds me, on the savory side, it kind of reminds me of those pizza bows that we talked about. That's not the actual brand name, but I influenced myself, I guess, or you influenced me maybe. And I went to Meijer and I found them there, and they were pretty good because, I mean, bao is just another form of not really bread, but another form to eat pizza basically. So I thought they were pretty good, but I'm intrigued by that chocolate one because I don't think I've ever seen like a desserty type bao.
Yeah, there have been, if you're in the Chicago area, you're more likely to be close to a chain called Wow Bao. They have traditional Asian like kung pao and barbecue pork, but they also have, my personal favorite is coconut custard bao. Oh yeah, it's good. Highly recommend it if you're ever out in Chicago looking to grab a quick lunch. And then I'll let you introduce the next product, which we both agreed on.
So speaking of desserty things, Lenny and Larry's, you probably know them for doing protein cookies, rather large protein cookies, which can be substituted for a meal. I'm not a nutritionist, don't take my advice on that, but it's, it has a lot of protein. They're now branching out into dipped wafer bars. I'm very curious to try these. They do a good job of balancing like better for you with indulgence. So I think there was like a caramel macchiato or something flavor, like a coffee flavor. There was like a few others that all sounded good. And they sent me a rather large shipment to try these, but I have not tried it yet. My parents have demanded samples, so I have not had a chance to try them yet.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I am trying to cut down on my sugar, but I am a sweet treat addict. So Lenny and Larry's it feels like they're aiming directly for me with the things that they've come out with recently. When I visited Sweets and Snacks, their newest item was the cookie-fied snack bar, which they have in a snack version and they have in a big version. I believe we talked about it last month. And they started with their cookies, which were, pretty tasty way to start your day, high in protein, lower in sugar than a lot of other cookies. And they've come out with things that increasingly are more like candy, cookies, real treats, but they still have that pretty decent nutritional profile that people who are looking to watch their calories, watch their fat, get up their protein intake. And this is a company that I'm following, not just because I'm a fan of the snack and bakery industry, but because for my own selfish reasons, I'm trying to eat a little bit better, but still treat myself.
I definitely see them everywhere. Like I remember I was at a hotel once in Florida and they had it in the gift shop. So they're becoming like really well known. I was at a SNX, I think, a few years ago in Phoenix, and someone gave me their card and they worked for Lenny and Larry's. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Lenny and Larry's. And she looked kind of taken aback, like, like what? But yeah, they're definitely becoming super popular. Speaking of bars, our next company is Once Upon a Farm, releasing refrigerated oat bars. So you might have heard about Once Upon a Farm. It was co-created by Jennifer Garner, who's one of my favorite actresses from Alias and other shows and movies. And they decided to do a company mostly for kids products. So this is also a kids products, but definitely, fine for adults as well. I think the other products they have are like fruit and veggie blends, oats, and like plant-rich type meals.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Jennifer Garner. I did not watch Alias, but I'm a huge fan of the 13 going on 30
Oh yeah, great
movie,
one.
which if you're Gen X and a millennial, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, stream that when you can. But she is one of those celebrities that's not content to sit on her laurels, and she's a food entrepreneur now. If you watch Stranger Things, we've talked about Noah Schnapp and his TBH, better for you, more sustainable alternative to hazelnut spreads. And it's interesting when celebrities just don't just slap their name on a product. She's involved with the development and conscious, and not just lending her name and money. She's lending brain power and seems to really care. The authenticity, some of these celebrity brands is important to shoppers. So again, it'll be interesting to see how this does. My next product. Oh yeah,
Oh, sorry. I was
no,
just
go
going to
ahead.
interrupt. Just as a shout out, we did do a interview online that people can check out. It was sadly not with Jennifer Garner. I had a slight fangirl moment where I was like, I'm gonna get to interview Jennifer Garner, but it was with someone equally important, the other co-founder. I believe her name was Cassandra Curtis, I think. So that's up on the website.
Yeah, it's a good interview. My next product is I'm if there's a fan club for Jackson's and their chips, I might be on it. I'm I'm a fan of chips. And this company not just has a good story, they have really tasty products. Sweet potato chips don't sound like anything new. If you didn't catch our cover story from a couple months back. What's novel and notable about Jackson's is the story, but also they're taking sweet potato chips and they are combining with flavors. You don't see anything much more than salt on the sweet potato chips that you can find at your big box or health food store. They've got a ton of flavors. I would have a hard time picking a favor, but this is definitely a contender, the spicy jalapeno flavor. When I visited, they sent me home with a care package and I couldn't possibly eat all of these chips. So I took them to a friend's gathering and they were commandeered by my friends pretty quickly. The habanero nacho was a favorite. Farmhouse Ranch, one of my friends tried to pretend like the bag had just disappeared and he was hiding it. The spicy jalapeno flavor is really good. It's spot on and it tastes like pepper. It doesn't taste like pepper flavor. They did let me take a peek at their mad scientist flavor lab, the R&D lab, when I visited, but they didn't reveal very many secrets. So I couldn't tell you what their secret is either. But I definitely recommend heading to your nearest Whole Foods and trying out their seasoning blends for yourself, because they're pretty spot on, and this one is too.
I think I first saw them at a trade show and I think I tried that initial sample, but I haven't tried them since, so I'll have to seek them out because sweet potato chips are pretty good. It's a nice
Yeah,
better for you
you
type
can't
product.
have mine. So sorry. Oh, Liz has got another one too. That sounds really good.
Yep. So most people I think have heard of California Pizza Kitchen. They've been around for quite a while. In my area, there's two local malls, and they both have a California Pizza Kitchen, or they did at least last time I went. So California Pizza Kitchen has released a Korean barbecue steak pizza, and I believe this is at the restaurants, not in stores just yet, but don't quote me on that. So this is interesting to me. Like, Korean barbecue is something I love doing. It's like a fun, like, group activity where you can go out and kind of cook your own, barbecue on like a plate, essentially a hot plate of sorts. So they're kind of capitalizing on that trend, and they're kind of thinking that consumers who like Korean barbecue might be interested in trying a pizza version. So I think that could be pretty good to try. It could be pretty tasty.
Yeah, it's a flavor that a couple of people have been bold and brave enough to put on their products. There's a kettle chip brand that I cannot remember that I will probably think of it when we're done with the record. I saw that they had released a Korean barbecue potato chip, and I tried it, and it was really spot on. I'm seeing gochujang in, oh, there's a spicy sweet chili, I think, that came out. McDonald's had a limited time nugget sauce.
Oh,
My memory is going away. When you get old, Liz, things happen. But yeah, Korean barbecue, Korean flavors are something that we're seeing increasingly in snack and bakery products. And I would like to see CPK come out with a retail version if they have not already. So if you're listening, guys, I as a consumer, I'd be interested, and as a journalist, I'd like to see how it performs.
they're interesting because they do a lot of grocery business as well. Like, of course, they have their barbecue chicken pizza, which is
Yeah,
signature, and a lot of companies, I've tried their private label versions, and they're good, but they're not as good as the original. So yeah, that would be pretty interesting. And then, speaking of different flavors, you have another product to share.
yeah. So Jimmy John's has their standard private label chips. When you get a sandwich, if you want to turn it into a combo, you can get salt and vinegar, barbecue. I think jalapeno is another one, and then the plain salt. They've added another one just in time for Pickle Day, which another officially made up food holiday. But it's notable because Jimmy John's is introducing a new flavor, and then it's a flavor that you might have seen. I think Kettle Cooked has their own dill pickle chip flavor, but it's not that widespread. So it's an interesting foray into the pickle world for Jimmy John's.
I've been seeing dill pickle as a flavor in all sorts of formats. Like, I forget where I was, but I tried some popcorn. It had a very tangy flavor, and
Yes.
I was out, I think somewhere, it was offered as like a bar food type thing, and I was like, is this dill pickle flavored? And they looked it up, and they were like, yeah, it's dill pickle flavored. So that was kind of interesting. So should be interesting to see what kind of companies use that as a
Yeah,
flavor.
because the dill pickle flavor is definitely has its fans. On Facebook, a friend the other day posted a meme. Basically, the creator of the meme was confessing that they drank the juice right out of the pickle jar in the fridge. And in the comments, other friends confessed that they do the same thing. And I got to when you're in Chicago, there's a couple of locations for a restaurant called Parsons Chicken and Fish. And when you get your, Nashville style hot chicken or your fried fish, you can get a side of pickles, but they then take that pickle juice and you could get it in soda. So pickle soda, it's just dill pickle and seltzer water. And that is one of my favorite things in the world, which sounds gross, but until you've tried it, yeah, you can't really knock it. So snack people, you could be Jimmy John's could be starting something really insane. So get on that trend.
I love pickles. I can't see myself drinking it straight from the jar. I think, like, so in the Michigan area, we have a lot of Polish restaurants, and people do
Yeah.
a thing called dill pickle soup, which is actually
Oh,
quite good. And when
yeah.
I had COVID back in January, I was craving it, so I made my own. I think I still have some in my freezer. And like that, you need the pickle juice. So like stuff like that's really tasty. I would try your pickle drink just because I'm intrigued, but I don't know about drinking it straight from the jar. That's a little too much for me, I think.
Yeah. This might be too much pickle, but my mom's famous chip dip recipe was basically a 8-ounce brick of cream cheese. And you stick that in the blender with a bunch of hamburger dill chips. And then you pour a little extra juice until the dip is the consistency that you like not too thin, not too thick. If you were to dip Jimmy John's pickle chips into the dill pickle chip dip, you might create an implosion of the universe with the too much pickles.
See, that actually sounds good to me because, you know, there's dips and stuff always have like savory type flavors. So
Yeah.
I think that would be fine. And then to finish our video, Cauliflower, you know them, they do you know, cauliflower crust. They released 7 new items, which I think was the most they've ever released at one time. One of which was pizza rolls made with like a cauliflower crust, which I think I believe that's a first. I don't remember seeing that. There's definitely a lot of like gluten-free pizza roll options. We wrote about one company, I'm forgetting their name now, but they do that. I still have their pizza rolls in my freezer, and it's more of like a puffy crust, but this is going to be with a cauliflower crust. So it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's cauliflower's got a really good story too. Gail Becker, the founder, a kid dealing with celiac, so she goes to her kitchen and plays mad scientist, and I think she calls it Pinterest fails. Her first couple of attempts in the kitchen didn't go so great, but now she's transformed that desire to give her kid, healthy, fun stuff to eat, into an entire empire. And if you have friends who are trying to eat gluten-free or they're celiac, parties can just be a big bummer. But now companies like Cauliflower are giving them an option. So you could if you're having a pizza party, here's a tasty, tempting treat that your friend can enjoy with all the other people and their pizzas. But the fact that her company is launching 7 new items at once is going to make this company one to watch, because they're definitely they're bent on global domination. It looks like. And it's interesting to see companies, especially women-led companies, go from humble beginnings like that to really interesting growth trajectory. So that's a good note to end on.
You can definitely find them in the grocery store now. I was at my local Meijer Midwest brand of grocery stores a while back, and they had at least 4 or 5 different cauliflower products.
Yeah, way to go, Gail. Well, that is about all the time we have today. It's always fun covering these new products. If you're a snack or bakery producer and you've got a new product, please send it to me at spinnerj@bnpmedia.com. I think that's about it. Liz, did you have anything else?
No, that was it. Thanks for joining us again.